Democratic-led states are taking the fight to the administration over Donald Trump's attempt to freeze trillions of dollars in federal grants and loans that Congress passed to send to the states. A coalition of 23 state attorneys general, led by New York's Laticia James, have sued to block the freeze. New York Attorney General Laticia James joins me now. And General James, thank you so much for being here. Tell me about this lawsuit. New York and California are leading it. It's 23 states and cities total. What are you looking to have happen?
So thank you for having me, Joy. Not only is it California, but it's Rhode Island, it's Massachusetts, it's New Jersey, it's Rhode Island, and it's the state of New York, which is leading this matter. What we are seeking, obviously, is a temporary restraining order and then a preliminary injunction against this illegal act. It is ultra-virus. It exceeds the authority of the President of the United States. It's in violation of the spending clause. So the United States Congress has control of the purse, and so this President of the United States cannot disrespect the co-equal branch of government with the stroke of a pen. And it's important that individuals understand that a number of states, their portals were frozen today. Here in the state of New York, our portal, our Medicaid portal, was closed off. There was a state in Arizona, Attorney General Mays indicated that, in fact, just last night, she had seized over 500,000 pounds of methamphetamines, and that drug program, that interdiction program, that could have been affected. Law enforcement grants, food for seniors, Meals on Wheels, Head Start, aid to farmers, aid to pregnant women, aid to children. The list goes on and on.
That's the goddamn problem. The list goes on and on and on to the break of dawn. I think we're tired of the programs. I think we need a goddamn government that's going to give us a chance to be self-sufficient and earn our keep and hold our heads up. Did you hear the list of fucking... This man comes in and cuts all these welfare-ass programs because you got all these illegal immigrants who come over here poor and broke. So we got to... put some money out to get them up, right? And then we got black people over here ain't got shit going on, so they on the government's dime for whatever they can get out of them. I mean, look at the amount of shit she just listed, and the Democrats would rather fund that than fix it, than figure out a way to push it back onto us so that we can make our own money. And when we get a guy who comes in there fucking just start slash, he does what a motherfucker would do. If I was president, that's what I'd be doing. The kind of shit where they'd have to grab my hand and be like, hey, you can't do that. That's what you do. You go as far as you can go. You might cross the line a few times, but you got to do it. Or you're going to be like Biden. You're going to just sit there and not do shit. You have to be aggressive. You have to try. But there's no way we're ever going to be able to do anything with those Democrats because they want everybody to be beholden to them. And the way they can do it easily with poor people is just give you shit. Just hand you government handouts. And then when the Republicans come in and take them away, then you think the Republicans are the bad guys. Well, let's see if Donald Trump's take away these handouts and gives opportunities for people to build up things. I mean, I'm gonna tell you some shit, you guys. I mean, this is like, all I hear out of the Democrats is like the people's kind of shit. Like, you got access to a president when you don't. Y'all no goddamn access to a president when you're a Democrat. But Donald Trump is actually making it possible for YouTubers, regular YouTubers like you and I and regular people, can get a press pass as a YouTuber. And go and interview the president and request president's interviews. It's going to be really interesting this time because the Democrats are really, really pushing it to the edge here about even being able to be a party anymore. If he continues to do things and everything that he's doing, they're bad talking it and they saying it and talking shit. And he's even said something recently about the IRS going away. If the IRS goes away, they could lose black people. That's like no tax. Can you imagine not paying any federal tax? You get your whole check. State tax would probably be different, but California, we're going to pay tax no matter what. But Man, if that federal tax go away, oh my God, is that something that would make black people jump parties? They're probably, those of us who are watching me speak will probably say, no, that ain't. Why? Why is money not good then? I'm just saying, if it's okay, sometime it'd be like, hey, you got to make your money. You got to just drop all that other bullshit and go make your money. But when it comes to a possible benefit and a fuel, but we need benefits that are going to, teach us to fish, not just give us a bucket of fish and then we have to weed them up. We got to go back and beg for more. I think the Democrats' way of thinking is so counterproductive. And I don't think that that's how we as black people should be thinking or have ever thought. I just don't know why they keep forcing us or attempting to force us into their way of thinking. It's not going to work for us. It's not beneficial to us to continue to fight for people who aren't us. That's all they're up there talking about right now is illegal immigration primarily. They're not talking about black people or anything with black people. So what is going on? Why not? Has our problems been solved? Of course not. They just don't give a damn because the Democratic Party don't give a damn, and they are Democrats first and blacks second.
On and on. It is unprecedented, unparalleled, but basically illegal, unconstitutional, reckless, and dangerous.
Do you think that? I mean, is it really? Is it? You could say exactly what she said and just flip it around for a country to open its doors up and just let people come in unverified, unvetted. Just let them in. That's not dangerous. That's not criminal. That's not immoral. That's not bad to just open it. And because you're Joe Biden, you can just open up the borders and let people pour in, and it's no big deal. And you got attorney generals supporting it. They didn't sue you. They should have sued Biden for dumping all those illegal immigrants in New York and California and Chicago, because that is overburdening the city. It's financial resources. Every other kind of resource. It's housing. It's being affected by these. And we have housing problems without the immigrants coming in. And you guys are okay with it. That's just the strangest shit in the world to me, that you don't hold Joe Biden accountable for putting us in that kind of peril. Because that's peril as well. And now we're more in peril for taking them out than we were when they arrived. That doesn't make sense.
And, it seems that Donald Trump is testing federalism itself and attempting to seize for himself and for his administration powers, as you point out, that were in the Constitution designated to Congress, and then sort of doing the same thing in sort of launching what feels like almost an invasion of these states with ICE agents on the street.
It's not like she's saying, it's not as bad as she's saying, because Donald Trump isn't in opposition with Congress or the Senate. He has the majority in both of those houses. So he has no reason to be fighting with those guys. They're his party. Right now, he's overstepping his boundaries, because if they don't do anything about it, which in most cases they probably won't, and all the Democrats are going to do is whine, he's going to get to push the envelope. And if it gets down to it, then the Republicans will say, okay, you can't do that, President. We'll do it for you. I mean, it's really frustration. The Democrats have been like going to a comedy show, and they're the ones sitting on the front row just heckling the hell out of the guy, and he's just giving it to him. I mean, this dude is doing his thing, and anybody who voted for him and has a area that they were concerned about, pay attention to it. Whatever it was, see if he's fulfilling his promises. That's what the question should be. Is he fulfilling the promises? Now he's fulfilling the promises, but he's breaking the law. Hey, you can't have it all. But when it comes to illegal immigrants, if he can break the law by deporting them, but they can't break the law by being here, it just sounds upside down and backwards. It doesn't make any sense. We need the workers in this country to be at the advantage and not at the disadvantage. Pouring a whole bunch of illegal immigrants in there puts the employers at a huge advantage and us at a huge disadvantage. And we should be hopefully fighting and leaning for the people who voted and put you guys in office, and not for the people who didn't vote and put you in office. Why would you be fighting so hard for them?
streets of American cities. We know that New York City joined the list of cities where these performative raids are taking place, sometimes with celebrity podcasters joining along. Dr. Phil.
They be hating now on podcasters because podcasters tend to be a little more truthful than the regular network media. And if you see two black women sitting up there talking as long as these two have, and they not talking about black people, it's really scary when you really think about it. It is and attention needs to be shown on this here. We need to see it as black people and really understand, why aren't we talking about us? We're not fixed. We're not okay. We're not straight. We ain't none of that shit. So why are we so concerned about these illegal immigrants? How come? Why aren't we focused on ourselves? Even if that is going on, it's nothing we can do about it. But why aren't we focused on ourselves? We got a president who is doing unprecedented shit. And the best thing that we can do is see if we can put some ideas in his head and see if he repeats them. Make him sound like a smart guy if he wants to take credit. I don't give a fuck. As long as he's willing to work with the American people, and we are a part of the American people, hell, the best thing we can do is get some black person who got some kind of relationship with him. Snoop Dogg, can you go up there and represent us? You went and performed for him. He know who you are. He probably take a meeting with you. I mean, take somebody with you, you know, who understands politics and probably has an agenda or something that would benefit us. But if you can't do nothing but set the meeting up, facilitate that. And that in itself would be monumental. And I think some people would have to take back what they've been saying about you. But if you don't do nothing, if it just go out there and drop it like it's hot just for a couple of bucks, yeah, that's kind of some embarrassing shit. But I'm just so tired of our black people expending all of their energy for something that doesn't have anything to do with us. If they deport all the illegal immigrants, or if they don't, we're still not getting reparations. There's no way they're going to give it. They're okay with pouring millions and billions of dollars into the effort to make sure these illegal immigrants land on their feet when they get here, but they're not willing to do that for us. It's really a kick in the ass and a slap in the face to see it. To see when you go to Walmart, people walking up to you in the dark with coolers full of tamales and things, asking you, do you want to buy it? Well, I don't know where you made that shit. I don't know where that came from. Why would I want to buy that? I like tamales, but I go to restaurants and buy my tamales. I just don't understand why it's okay for that to be legal. It's bad enough that they're coming over here and then you don't encourage them to go get jobs. It's okay for them to do what they want to do when they get here, and that's just not the way it's supposed to work. We have laws and rules, and it just costs money in order to participate. But if you don't have any, you don't start knocking laws down and putting us, the United States citizens, in peril just because you want to fast track a bunch of illegal immigrants in here and lie to us about doing it, and then fight when someone comes in to get them out.
They're on hand. It's almost as if they're doing it like a reality show. And
it is a reality show because it's reality. She's trying to clown. She's trying to draw the relationship between Trump being on a reality show and what he's doing right now. Well, if it's a reality show, it's better than what we've been dealing with. That's fucking reality. A man who is trying to remove a significant amount of the population that is not wanted here. That is a problem. And anyone who wants them here is only being told that they want them here. They can't sit down and write down 5 things that they benefit from having the illegal immigrants here. You don't. Why would you vote for something like that? Have them come legally. Have the companies put in requests to the government, and then the government figure all these corporations and add up how many roughly they need and allow roughly about that many people, maybe a few more in, but legally. The illegal crossing of the border has to end.
Can the Attorney General's office offer to the people of New York in this case?
It's chaos, confusion, and it's conflict, but basically it's fear. And what it's having is a chilling effect on undocumented and immigrants here in the great state of New York. We are monitoring this situation. It is my understanding that ICE was in New York City and in parts of Westchester and in the Bronx today, but they were focusing on dangerous individuals. And obviously we support their efforts in that regard. But when it comes to individuals who cannot go to school, children who cannot go to school, individuals who are victims and witnesses to crime who are afraid to go into courthouses, individuals who are victims of domestic violence and cannot get orders of protection because they're afraid to go into court, individuals who cannot go see their doctors. That is what is happening. I cannot tell you, Joy, the number of individuals who've come up to me crying because they are concerned about our government, who are concerned about being deported for doing absolutely nothing. Individuals.
They didn't do absolutely nothing. They snuck into the fucking country. Am I missing something? They feel like they're being picked on. You snuck into a country. You can't say, hey, you know what? I want to go to France and contribute to their economy by sneaking into the country illegally and getting a job. But when I buy goods and services, I'll be paying my taxes that way. That's bullshit. You can't do that in any country, and here especially. And for it to be supported by these women, and we got so much shit that we need as black people. And I'm sorry, if it sounds selfish, if it sounds fucked up, it is. Because the United States government hates black people, generally speaking. They hate us. Or because the ones that they even deal with, they don't deal with them like adults. They deal with them like children. The fucking Democratic Party sits behind the scenes and makes it. Do you realize that the Democratic Party in the United States of America is considered the Labor Party? You know, the party that is labor friendly. And nothing could be further from the truth. Most of these illegal immigrants, within 3 years, if they are to obtain legalization, citizenship, or whatever, they'll vote Republican. They're going to vote, and Republicans had nothing to do with them being brought in and nothing to do with them staying here. But that's who they'll probably end up voting for. The Democrats are not as popular, and people don't want to jump on that wagon. But if they're going to let them come in, they know Biden's in the locked and loaded to step up into the office back in 2021. Sure, they're like, hell yeah, they support that. They're on the way, hundreds of miles away, heading toward the U.S. because they knew when they got here they were going to get in and be taken care of. Anybody who can be that presumptuous about our government and our border, you know, they need to step down. Biden should have stepped down. It's an embarrassment, a total embarrassment. And what Trump is doing is what most people want him to do, something, fight. If he's up there talking shit, but he's fighting for us, it seems like. And if he starts attacking American citizens, and I'm not talking about the illegal immigrants, they are not American citizens. If your neighbors are illegal immigrants and the ICE agents break into that house and get them people out of there, that is not illegal. It's difficult to watch. It's not the nicest thing, but you cannot create that type of situation and then blame the results on the people doing their job. If Biden had done his job and the job had been done with that last administration, we wouldn't even be here.
Who have been in this country and who have contributed to our economy, individuals who work each and...
She's over here bragging about how they contribute to our economy. She's over here bragging on illegal immigrants, and she's black and we black. We got black people running all over the country doing shit, but she's over here harping and bragging on illegal immigrants. Like we ain't got enough black people that she could be speaking on. Yeah, that's why I'm pissed off. That shit don't make no sense. And we want to be mad at Trump because they don't like him. Those are our enemies, both of them. Let them fight. Let's see who win this shit. But we need to stay clear of this.
Every day who know no other country but the United States. Individuals that are...
They know Mexico or Venezuela or wherever else they came from. They know no other country but the United States. That's bullshit. Or they would be American citizens. If they know another country, they came here illegally. We cannot excuse that, and we cannot talk in those terms, and we cannot continue to ignore black people when they're crying and whining for your attention, for you to pay attention to them and use the weight of your office to help them. There has to be some injustice going on in New York that you could get involved in that would help elevate black people. Give them opportunity. All the DEI stuff going away that you guys been talking about, put something back in place in your jurisdictions that'll help. And Joy Reid is a hater. She's just a hater. She's sitting up there anything to poke and prod at Trump when she has legitimate fights inside her about black people, but they won't make them because that isn't what MSNBC wants to see on their show right now. But whatever. We'll see if they're around in a few years because I don't think it's going to make it, and I don't think the party they represent is going to make it. And it's got to be frustrating. But it's also very ignorant for them to be behaving this way. And us being a part of that, just being goddamn associated by race. It's just embarrassing to know that we fight that hard for other people and not ourselves. We can't even come up with one line of an argument for ourselves. But look at this. A whole show on for illegal immigrants. Illegal immigrants. It's not like the United States government is taking newly arrived citizens of the United States and treating them bad or kicking them out or lynching them or refusing them to eat at their dining counters or drink out of their faucets or play in their parks or even get in their swimming pools. It's not even nowhere near that bad. But to hear this, you think it's a whole movement about to start. Are we really going to start a movement over illegal immigrants? That's when the country is in jeopardy of losing the democracy. When we start fighting harder for things that aren't even legally supposed to be in this country as opposed to people who are supposed to be here.
Fleeing dangerous situations, fleeing violence in their country, who only come here because they want the same thing that you and I want, and that is to make sure that our family is safe and to contribute to these United States.
Well, that's just not the way it works. Just because you want to be safe in the United States and you want to, everybody can't do that. Because then the United States won't be the United States anymore. It's very unfortunate, but just because somebody in Venezuela is sitting down dreaming about coming to America, that doesn't always get to come to pass. It just doesn't. And we need to accept that, and we need to quit speaking about it like it's a foregone conclusion or like anybody who feels that we don't want a bunch of immigrants over here, something wrong with them. It's not. It's not. It's a natural response. We want housing. We want property. We want investments. We want a whole lot of stuff. Our lives ain't right over here. This big old wealth gap that's on top of us, and you got time to talk about illegal immigrants that will pass us in 2 or 3 years. They'll be past most black people in this country in accumulated wealth. It's terrible. You guys are fighting for that. Thanks.
And it's unfortunate that I have to hold countless number of individuals in my arms crying because we have a government right now that is reckless.
Well, you'd be holding black people crying too if you go out and look for some. There's homeless black people. Most of these immigrants coming here aren't sleeping on the street. They're sleeping under roofs. They have money and things waiting on them. Why do we have homeless people on the street and they aren't accommodating them in hotels or under roofs and somewhere, where they don't get wet or pneumonia or just the dignity of being taken care of like the illegal immigrants are being taken care of? You guys don't think you could do that same thing for our homeless population? You don't think you could do the same thing for our black population? You guys don't think you could give the Indians more than you've given them? You did them pretty bad. It's a whole lot of other people in this country who are kind of looking around, scratching their head like, wow. I mean, it makes you want to go sneak into Mexico and get in one of those lines and come over that way as a citizen of the United States. And you might get hooked up with some better deals than being born here. And it should never be that way. But that's what we're fighting for.
Reckless and also, as I've said, performative. I want to show you an image of Kristi Noem, who was just confirmed, the former governor who was confirmed as Department of Homeland Security. It's as she's cosplaying. It's almost a game where she seems to be cosplaying, because I'm not sure what she thinks that she's portraying here. She might as well be at Comic-Con looking like this. And it feels like the attempt, as you said, is to instill fear, not really to enforce the law. You can't say you're going after individuals who are just dangerous criminals if you are invading schools, because elementary and high school kids cannot be what you're talking about.
They can be. If they're here illegally, they can exactly be what they're talking about. You can't say only adults over the age of 18 can't sneak into the country, but if you're under 18, you can. It just doesn't work like that, Joy Reid. You can't shame us into supporting something that we don't believe in. You just can't. You're trying to shame people into saying, I used to feel that way too. God damn it. You can't just run in a place and then find tranquility and safety and then close the door behind you so no one else can enjoy it. Well, that ain't exactly how we got here. We didn't run in a door and close it behind us. You know what I'm saying? And we have a fight that needs to be fought. It isn't been fought. I don't know why we've relinquished the fight. I don't know what the deal is. And I don't know why all these other groups, LGBTQ and all these, are taking a higher priority in black people's minds. We got attorney generals. That's what I'm trying to tell you, folks. We got Biden appointing, and we got black people being elected to all these high positions only to fight for other people. Why get elected to all these positions? Why be the VP? Why be on the Supreme Court? Why be any of that stuff? And you can't even help your own people. If you do, you won't be there. And if they knew you would, they wouldn't put you there. They're only putting you there because they trust you not to do shit for your own people.
And again, in Newark, New Jersey, as you know, they also detained an American citizen who was a veteran. It is performative theater, and it's nothing more than shock and awe. But at the same time, it's, again, stoking fear in countless families across.
Well, I tell you, if people are sneaking in the country illegal, folks, you need fear instilled in you. You need to see a family member or two arrested and dragged off, and then maybe you'll think about the consequences before you just sneak into the United States. If you sneak in knowing that there's no consequences, then we have no loss. That's why the Democrats are so reluctant and fight so strong for the whatever bill or whatever it is they want done, because, hey, if it doesn't pass, we'll just let them keep sneaking in. They're coming anyway, legally, illegally, and the Democrats are fine with both ways. And it shouldn't be that way. The Democrats and the Republicans, there should be no daylight between them when we're discussing the definition of what an illegal alien is, or illegal immigrant, or any of that kind of stuff. There should be no daylight. We should all be on the same page.
Across countless municipalities and across states. And individuals need to understand that immigrants and undocumented individuals contribute so much to our economy.
There she go with that shit again. As a black person, I have contributed a lot my goddamn self, and I have yet to hear any black person on TV fighting and bragging over it like she's doing. They contribute so much. They do. We know. But they have to sneak into the country to do it. That's not legal. That's not legal. You know what I'm saying? If you came home from the movies and your fucking neighbor painted your house, you'd be pissed. There's no good deed like that. You can't do that shit. Just because you say it's a nice thing, it doesn't mean it's a nice thing. Those people have to come in here the right way. That's just it. And as an attorney general sitting up there talking the way you're talking, and a member of the black community, I don't understand it. I'm lost for words.
So much to innovation and creativity, to business, and this is a nation of immigrants that President Kennedy once said. And it's important that we understand and respect them and recognize that they too have rights. And that's why, as the Attorney General of the great state of New York, we've issued advisories. We've held meetings with clergy. We have held meetings with advocacy groups and with business leaders, again, who are concerned about the attacks on our democracy, attack on the rule of law, and attacks against citizens who want nothing more than to live in peace and to contribute to the economy of the United States of America.
The irony, of course, for Donald Trump in particular, is that the state of New York is the state that made him a felon because he was duly convicted by a jury of his peers in the hush money case. But there were two civil judgments that in cases that your office brought, Madam Attorney General, that includes the fraud case in which Donald Trump was found to have serially defrauded the state of New York. He still owes the state of New York some $500 million. And then, of course, there was the civil case that E. Jean Carroll brought for defamation and for sexual abuse, in which he was also convicted by a jury of his peers, found liable for sexual abuse, in which he owes E. Jean Carroll. He is now attempting to claim, as somebody who's supposedly about law and order, that the law and order that was dispensed by New York juries do not apply to him, and stating that his immunity that the Supreme Court gave him extends to the E. Jean Carroll case, and presumably that he doesn't have to pay the state of New York. Can the state of New York force him to live under the law?
So again, in my case, we are waiting for a decision from the appellate division in the Second Circuit. And it's important to understand that all of the violations of law that he engaged in, including trying to take advantage of our insurance laws, our tax laws, and not.
God damn it. I just wish that we would fight our fight. I really do. I really feel like we could get some shit out of Trump if we just leave him the fuck alone. Let the Democrats fight him. Let the white people fight him. They're the ones got a problem with that, man. We don't. Let them fight him and start being a part of the team that goes over and negotiates with them. Don't kiss his ass. Act like a man. Walk in the door upright and leave upright. And talk to the man. Look him in his goddamn eye and figure some shit out. Because right now, all we got is a bunch of angry black women in high places doing nothing but complaining. We need to quit complaining and start negotiating. And we can make this shit move in the right direction. But she's completely pissed off about illegal immigrants. This whole interview is about nothing but illegal immigrants. They refuse to sneak a line or two in on our behalf. Just remind everybody, hey, the slaves, the 40 acres and a mule people, been lynched, segregated, all that shit, us. Nobody, everybody forgot. The own party that we think loves us, that we're a part of, they forgot. When is the Democratic Party ever gonna, we just ran a candidate, and that candidate didn't do anything in her agenda for black people. Nothing. And then when they got close to the end, she didn't think she had all the black support she needed, which she really did. She just didn't know it. So she started catering to black people by saying what? Oh no, I can't just take the black man's vote for granted. I have to work for them. That's all she was saying. But how are you going to work for them? What are you going to do? Oh no, I can't take a vote for granted. I have to work for them. She just kept repeating that shit. But what did she ever say she was going to do for black men? Black women. Black people. Not a fucking thing. But we're all even now. And nobody needs any extra help or any special treatment. But LGBTQ, women, and illegal immigrants. You know what I'm saying? And Asians too. It's weird how certain minority groups still need a little help. But black people, no, they good. They good. Because nobody want to help us. They don't want to see us doing okay. It's fucked up to see black people doing good in America. They don't like to see that shit. Out in the front yard, throwing the football back and forth, all the bills paid. That's unacceptable.
Paying adequately to our tax base were done when he was not the president of the United States. And this is a civil matter. It is not criminal. And so the pardon law does not apply in this particular case. And so we are awaiting a decision. And upon that decision, we suspect that he will probably appeal that decision to the highest court in the state of New York, the Court of Appeals. But we are confident at the end of the day that he will be held accountable to the residents and to the taxpayers of the great state of New York, because only one rule should apply, and should apply to all of us equally, regardless of whether or not you sit in the highest office of these United States.
New York Attorney General Laticia James, thank you very much.
Thank you, Laticia James. And I'm sure the immigrants thank you as well. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better fighter. So what does the Latino Congressional Congress do? Do they fight for him too? I mean, because that's a lot of help. And I mean, we're fighting for the LGBT, and the LGBT, I don't think they really have like a huge platform or as many people out there like black people do, but they sure got a lot of support. They sure got a lot of people helping them and fighting for them. And I just think that we need to be mentioned so that when we walk in there and start talking to Trump, he don't look shocked. Because right now it look like we are on loan to everybody else but ourselves. We got to get off of that. We got to back it up and do the right thing and not let Attorney General James and Reid get on there and make you believe that black people are all doing well like they are, because we aren't. And when you can't control the thoughts in your mind and the words that come out of your head, you're not doing as well as you thought. And right now, Reid ain't doing that good, because some of the things that she argues on her show are ridiculous, just completely ridiculous. And when she has credible points and credible arguments that she could be addressing, but she chooses this shit. Hey, I just call them like I see them. Like, comment, share, and please subscribe. We're trying to get the subscriptions up. I'm going to be doing some lives, but I'm going to get enough subscribers first. I would like to interact with you guys on that level and find out my community and what kind of brilliance is going on out there. I mean, for you guys to have hit the subscribe button, it just puts you a cut above the rest of YouTube folks out there. And you're going to get the opportunity to express yourself. And we don't debate, we conversate. So we'll catch you on the next Black Popcorn.